Hello, thank you for joining me for a very special collab video. I am doing this with a bunch of other really wonderful resellers here on YouTube. This is my third year. The first year Kelly Shaffner started this and I was honored to be invited by her. It is now being put together by Keegan, the teen reseller, so thank you, Keegan. And I'm going to have all of the other reindeer links in the description so that you can check out everybody's video. There really weren't any rules this year. We could do whatever we wanted. If you are coming from another channel, hello, welcome. I am a part-time reseller. I'm on multiple platforms, but my favorite and the one I put all of my inventory in and all of my effort into is Poshmark, and I have been doing it for over 5 years now. So I thought I would talk just a little bit about how 2024 went, and then I'm going to share some sales from 2024 with you. This was the year that I had told myself, and maybe even said it on a video, that I would start doing what sold videos, and it just didn't happen. As I said, I'm part-time. I have a full-time job. Just sometimes I just run out of time. Anyway, and then I'll talk about what's coming up, 2025 and beyond. So 2024 was rocky, but I think that's just pretty much normal for reselling in general, the business. We are at the mercy of fickle customers. We are using platforms that don't belong to us, and we're at their mercy as well. When they decide to, mess with fees, we just have to stand by and see what happens. There's no way around that other than maybe creating your own website, and good luck with that. It's not the creating, I think that's the real effort or the real difficulty. It's the getting people to see it. That would be the problem. So Poshmark, of course, changed their fees. I was not happy with that. First of all, common sense says the buyers should not be paying fees. The buyers don't care. They know what they want to pay for something. It is not their concern what you paid for it. It's not their concern what your fees are. Just like when you go into a brick and mortar store, it's not my concern what they pay their employees, how much their rent is, what the employee benefit package is. Can you imagine you go to check out and it's like, oh, we have an employee benefit package? No. I see something, I know what I can or will pay for it, and that's all that matters. You figure out the rest. So it's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. And kudos to Poshmark for realizing very quickly that they've made a mistake and changing it instead of, being proud and keeping it going. Some people were okay with the change. Somebody in one of the Facebook groups said, I liked it that way. And all the people who didn't complained, and we didn't have a voice, and they only listened to those people. No, they didn't listen to us. They listened to the numbers. Clearly, there was a huge decrease in revenue, in sales, for them to change it so quickly. The worst part of the way they did it, and the reason why I feel like they did it, they split the fees, as you know, and the reason they did it that way is they already take 20%, which a lot of people think is too high. I think it's fine. They earn their 20%. When somebody returns something, I don't have to pay for shipping. That saves me a lot of money. Not that I have a ton of returns, but returns happen. So I think they earn their 20%. But they knew they couldn't just say, oh, we're raising it to 23%. And that's not the way everything goes up. But when you're percentage based, you can't just raise the percentage, because if you do that every year, eventually you're at 100%. So that is not how you do it. The promoted closets is a way. I don't like their promoted closets. I think the choice to have it be based on clicks is terrible, and it's a little scammy because, you have these parties, and so you have these hosts who have to go into people's closets and pick out items to put into their party. And so if it's promoted listings, they click in to see if they want to put it in a party. They're not thinking about buying it. and now it just costs me money. So it's not for me, but it's optional, so that's okay. I understand they need to make more money. So anyway, I felt like they sat around going, well, we can't just raise it to 23%. What if we split it? They won't be smart enough to notice that we are actually making more than 20% now. Well, some of us noticed because the buyer portion was based on every penny the buyer spent, shipping, taxes. So anyway, glad they figured that out quickly, went back. I can't say that it hurt me very much, partly because I did make some sales and partly because my closet was closed for most of that period. I can't remember how long they did it, but I had a trip for work, and so my closet wasn't open. Then there's lives. People think that lives are taking away their business. I don't think lives are taking away their business. They are spreading the customer's money out, yes. But I think it's going to be different people shopping shopping the lives than they are looking for specific items. I mean, if you're looking for something, you see something you like, you're not going to start going into parties. I keep saying parties, into lives for hours on end, hoping that item will show up. So I have not noticed a problem since the live started. I did a couple of them. It's not just that they weren't for me. I think it's really like lightning to get a big enough audience on a regular basis to sell anything for enough money to really make it worthwhile. And it was a lot of work. I had to pull it out of inventory, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Anyway, not for me right now. Might be a good thing when I need to purge some more. So I've done okay this year. I haven't run my numbers, of course, because the year isn't over. The fat lady hasn't sung. But considering I'm part-time, and I took 5 or 6, I can't remember, trips for work. And when I take a trip, I close my closet. I stop listing new items 2 or 3 days before I close my closet because I don't want to waste all those just-ins. And then it takes a couple days for the algorithm to wake up and know you're back. So considering all that, I think when I run the numbers, I'm going to be very pleased. It's a side hustle for me. I just enjoy doing it. The extra money is not paying my bills. It's just going into my retirement account. And that's enough for me. So that's 2024, at least for me, in a nutshell. We'll see what happens with Mercari. I've never made a lot of sales on Mercari, but enough to make it worthwhile since I don't really do anything there. I barely ever send offers. They did not figure out, well, I shouldn't say that. They are not changing their fees until January 6th, I believe, and they've kept it that way a long time, and that might be why that CEO is no longer with Mercari, because he let that drag on despite a significant loss in revenue. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Mercari. Whenever there's a management change, stuff happens. All right, so let's just talk about some of my sales. These aren't, they're just ones I picked out because I had something to say about them. They're not like all my best sales or anything like that. This first item is a naked cashmere cardigan. I picked this up at a yard sale, and I don't do well with cardigans, but this was the best yard sale I've ever been to and the best yard sale I will ever have been to. I'm fairly certain. I went twice. The first time I just picked up a load of clothes. They gave me, I said, will you take 50 for all this? And it broke down to about $3 a piece. And while I don't do well with cardigans, it was cashmere and at yard sale prices. I picked it up. It sold for $75 on Poshmark. So that's $60. My profit was $57. Now, I went back to this yard sale a couple weeks later. And when I first got there, I thought that it was just the same stuff and the leftovers. So I don't know if I didn't see the boots or if those were new. I tend to think they were new because normally I scope out and go straight to shoes and boots before I ever go to the clothes. So I think they weren't there. When I went, because she said to me, oh, we're doing this again. It was for her church. We're doing this again in a couple of weeks. So I was like, okay. And I wrote it down and made sure to go there. I don't know where these people got the stuff. It wasn't like an expensive house in a fancy neighborhood. They didn't look like they weren't wearing diamond rings and diamond earrings. I don't know where they got this stuff, but then this next sale was from there as well, and it is these Alea, I think I'm saying that right, Alea boots. I sold these for $160. So my net on this was $125. And I still have stuff from that sale that haven't sold. There was Alexander Wang, that one sold. Veronica Beard, that sold. An Italian, what was that Italian one called? Something like blue marine, I think, a silk skirt, which doesn't do well, sold very quickly for a good amount. So it was really my dream yard sale. I really wish I had written down the address, because when I go yard sailing, I start with a list. I look on Craigslist, I look on the yard sale, I get the yard sale email, the yard sale app, sometimes Nextdoor, Facebook Marketplace, and I map out a few places, and then I look for random ones along the way. And that's how I found this one. It was just along the way. So the next sale, this is, my aunt gave this to me. The maker is Green Tree Weaving, and they're all handmade. It's I imagine a very small company, and they do like festivals and fairs, that kind of thing. So if you go to their website, sometimes their stuff is not available for sale, because if they're at a festival, they have their stuff with them, and if it sells, they don't have duplicates. This actually sold for full price, $350. So my profit was $280 because my aunt just gave it to me. Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, this next item I sold on eBay, which is very unusual. I don't have a lot of items on eBay, and I don't sell a lot of items. I don't have a store. I just list them. Sometimes I promote, sometimes I don't. I put minimal effort in there for some reason. And there's a couple of reasons why I picked this out. This is a North Face jacket with the Cosmopolitan logo. That's a casino in Las Vegas, by the way, if you're new. I live in Las Vegas, so I find a lot of that stuff, but I don't pick it up very often because it doesn't sell well. Also, the North Face doesn't necessarily sell well for me, but I'm a softie for it, and I pick it up more often than I should. So there's two things there. Two factor stackings for not picking it up and not being able to sell it. And it actually sold pretty quickly. I don't know I got it at the bins. I don't know what the breakdown is, but my profit was $26.80. So I was happy with that. The next item is my favorite purchase ever. My favorite item I've ever had. I'm very happy they weren't my size. Oh, and it was also the most I've ever spent on an item to resell. I'm glad they didn't fit me because I did not want to be tempted to keep them. Honestly, they are too cool for me. I can't measure up. These are John Fluvog Starfleet boots. John Fluvog, a Canadian designer, in collaboration with Paramount, designed these for one of the Star Treks. Can't remember which one. I paid all in, because I bought this on auction, and that's my highest priced items as far as sourcing come from online auctions. I mostly do online auctions when I'm on one of my work trips, because of a lot of times sitting around a computer and I'm like, I want to source, I want to shop. And it's worthwhile for me because, first of all, if I add up everything I've spent and everything I've sold, I have made a tidy profit. Even though there are some items that have been sitting for probably too long, but that'll often happen with a higher priced item. But anyway, and then I learned a lot of new brands. I believe I have 2 videos of like sort of bolo brands that I learned about from shopping online auctions. If you're interested in those, check out my videos. Those are 2 of the rare non-haul videos. So anyway, all in, I paid $51.72 for these. I was so surprised I got them because there was a little bit of a bidding war going on there, and I don't do that often. If I don't get it for opening bid a lot of times, then I just stop, but not these. Anyway, they sold for $310. I guess I gave an offer because I gave free shipping. My total profit on these were $188.31. I believe they were like $400 new. So that's pretty good. These were in like new condition, but I never say that. I just say gently worn and, no signs of wear, that kind of thing. This next item came from the bins, and I still remember we get there when they open. Before they open, we wait in line, the doors open, and we and the other shoe people rush to the shoe bins, and this was the first thing I saw, and I plucked them out. They are Jeffrey Campbell, which is not a guarantee. I mean, it's a good designer brand, but it's not a guarantee. I have a pair of Jeffrey Campbell shoes I have on Facebook Marketplace for $5, and I can't get rid of them. They're my size. I thought about keeping them, but they're not really my style, and they're not really comfortable. They're like a plastic sort of mesh. So if you wear them with socks, you see your socks through. So I don't know if that's how you're supposed to wear them, but if you wear them barefoot, they're very uncomfortable. So anyway, these fantastic over-the-knee boots sold for $250. I also gave free shipping on this, so and it was upgraded shipping, I believe. And anyway, my cost of goods that I put down was $8.53. I don't do, when I go to the bins, I don't do an even cost of goods. I don't say take $100 that I spent and the 20 items I sold and make it $5 a piece. The heavier items get a little more of it, the lighter weight items get less of it until the total comes up right. So thus I put $8.53. My profit was $179. That was a good bins day, that's for sure. This also came from the bins. I don't know if it came on the same time. I never heard of the brand, but I do like to buy things based on style. I believe I picked it out and I did run comps and was pleasantly surprised. It's Bernie Dexter. They make apparently like, you know, pinup, rockabilly style things, as was this dress, very pinup-y, with lipsticks all over it. And it sold for $100, which was probably full price. My cost of goods on my spreadsheet was $3, so $77 profit. Can't complain. Want to find another Bernie Dexter. Haven't had any luck. Okay, the reason why I'm showing you this is a Sonic hat. Sonic is a fast food drive-through hamburgers. I've never eaten there. I don't know if they're all over the country. I never heard of them till I came to Vegas. But anyway, we get very, very windy days here. And one morning I was taking my walk. I walk very early in the morning and I walk 5 times around my development. And this was on the street. I can't remember if it was a windy day or if it had been windy all night. And so I brought it home, cleaned it up, listed it, sold it very quickly for $18. So profit of $14.40. Now I'm trying not to pick up too many items that will only bring me $14.40, but when it's just on the street, I wanted to try it. What the heck? I will do some of those. The other reason I'm showing you this is I feel like maybe this is some sort of niche, because I'm not showing you any pictures, but we shared our office space at my job with another company. It had been owned by the same man who owns the company I work for. Then he sold it. They stayed. They went out of business and they left a lot of stuff. And I had a box full of stuff. And a bunch of it was Papa John's stuff. There were Papa John's hoodies, t-shirts, and 1 mask. So I listed them all. I kind of grouped them where I could. There was a medium t-shirt and medium hoodie. I put that together. I sold a hoodie by itself. I sold a hoodie or a t-shirt with the mask. I did it like that. Every one of them sold very, very quickly for either a very good offer or full price. So I'm not saying pick up everything that has a fast food place on it, but some of them might do well. And if they're going to sell full price or with a good offer that quickly, then it's okay for me anyway to sell it for a little bit less. I think like one of the hoodie and t-shirt sets sold for $30. That's not bad. Yeah, so I will pick up Papa John's and Sonic, I guess. Okay, another bins pickup. These are Justin cowboy boots. They're sea turtle. I picked them up and for some reason I missed where it said Justin. And I set them back down and somebody else was looking at them and right away I was like, oh, why did I put that back down? I mean, cowboy boots. I'll buy a lot of cowboy boots. I don't really always need to have them be Justin. I ended up bringing them home. It turns out the foot part, the shaft was leather. The foot part was sea turtle. They haven't been allowed to make sea turtle boots since I think the 90s. So Had they been sea turtle all over, they would have been worth double. But I sold them for $225. My cost of goods, I put down $5, so I made $180 on them. So you can tell it's sea turtle by the pattern. I can't remember what they call those little round things, but like on a similar one, I don't know, alligator, it only has a certain number around it, but the sea turtle can have like a lot of them around the center one. I can't, it's hard to explain. I researched it at the time, how you can tell that it's sea turtle. So that was a great find. Next, what the heck, a Depop sale. If I don't put up pictures of everything, it's because I couldn't find them. Like, I didn't put up a picture of the North Face Cosmopolitan because for the life of me, I just could not figure out how to find it on eBay. So anyway, these are Skechers Jammers, which is a very Y2K style, and I would absolutely pick them up every time. This particular pair is great. It had a little zipper where you can put like maybe a quarter in your shoe, and it sold for $85 on Depop. So after I got them at a yard sale for $2, so after fees, cost of goods, my net was $70.57. So yes, I do pick up I like to pick up Skechers, but Skechers is very style dependent. You can get some Skechers that will not sell at all. You can get some Skechers that will sell, but for very little. And then you can get lucky and get these Jammers, and they'll sell. In fact, I have better luck with Skechers Y2K than Doc Marten Y2K, because I have some Doc Martens on Depop just sitting there. Lastly is this blanket. And this is why, no matter how much I resell, I always recommend watching YouTube videos or following other resellers, because there's something to be learned from everybody. A local reseller who does a weekly show, normally, she does a lot of vintage, and she said these vintage blankets with the satin edging can do very well. So I was in Missouri. I believe this was Kansas City. I'm not 100% sure. Could have been St. Louis, but almost certain it's Kansas City. And the blanket, the brand was called Faribault. I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me try it. What the heck? Again, sold very quickly on Mercari, full price for $70. That was during the no fee period. My cost of goods was $4, so $66 profit. So keep an eye on those blankets if you're ready, if you're willing to venture out from whatever you normally do. I don't have a curated closet. I will never be able to have a curated closet because I like so many things, for one thing, and for another thing, even like, for example, I don't really do hard goods much, but if I see something that I think can make money or I look up the comps and it makes money, well, I'm just going to pick it up. I'm never going to have a curated closet. So anyway, those are just some of my fun sales from 2024. And where are we time-wise? Okay, I don't want to go on much longer. So 2025, I don't make New Year's resolutions. So this isn't really just 2025. This is, what am I doing ahead? I'm a couple years from retirement. I'm going to keep reselling when I retire, but at some point, I'm going to need to downsize significantly because, number one, I have a big house now, and when I move, which I will eventually, I'm not going to have a big house. I'm also likely going to be moving back to Canada. I had over 1,600 items, throughout 2024. And I can't move with 1,600 items, especially when a good bit of them aren't worth the cost of moving them. And so I'm not going to wait till I have to do it to try to purge, because it's a long process. And I'm going to have so much to deal with at that point that I'm starting it now. So how am I doing this? Well, first of all, I have had some success. I have less than 1,600 items now. Yay. Lowering prices on older things, sending lower offers, accepting lower offers on old things that, remember, as you do this, you should be getting better and better. Like, I'm still working on improving my sourcing game. You should be getting better and better at it. You need to be learning the whole time. So there's a lot of stuff in my closet that have been there for a while that are things I probably shouldn't have picked up, but I didn't know any better at the time. That's how you learn. So I'm trying to get rid of those. I'm donating some stuff. I've taken some things for myself, which of course isn't helpful because it's still in my house, but I'm also purging my own stuff. Like I used to have a job where I had to wear suits. So I had like lots of black pants and black blazers. I must have had 30 black jackets and I got rid of most of them. I think I might have one left. So I actually have a lot of room in my closet now. Also, like my brother recently lost a lot of weight. I saw him at Thanksgiving, so I brought him a bag full of stuff. I'm putting some stuff on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace for local pickup at yard sale prices. Get my money out of it, get it out of the house. And then I'm going to try, there's a store, I think it's fairly new. Oh, I think she said they opened in March. It's a thrift consignment. It's interesting. Very interesting how it's set up. It's these long units and each unit is, you know, maybe that wide and it's got a rack on it. It's got 2 shelves underneath and there's, you know, the top of it. It's sort of like a wall unit. And you rent the space for $35. You bring your stuff there on a Friday night. No, you bring your stuff on Saturday morning and you pick it up the following Saturday morning. So it's there for a week. $35 and they take a third. So it's not something that I would source just to sell there, but I'm thinking it might work to get rid of some stuff. We have Plato's Closet here, but I haven't had luck. The type of stuff they want is not the type of stuff I'm trying to get rid of. So I'm going to try this. I assume that their customer base skews young. So as much as I want to get rid of all of my Chicos, I'm not going to bring any Chicos. I'm not bringing any of the more mature brands because I don't think that's what they're looking for. Maybe after I've done it once or more than once, I might have a better idea of it if I want to throw in 2 Chicos and see what happens. But I was there for the first time yesterday and I went through all this stuff and there is, you know, I saw a few loft things, but I didn't see any Chicos, which is unusual anywhere. So I just don't think that's the kind of thing that will work there. So I'm gonna, they told me they had their first opening in February. I've got to go online and book something and I'll give it a try. What the heck? All right, well, that is it. I hope I didn't go on too long and bore you too much. I hope everybody has a happy holiday. I'd love it if you subscribed, hit the bell. That will let you know whenever I release a video, which I don't do that often. And in the spirit of the holiday season, please hit the thumbs up on the way out. All right, bye. See you next year.